Hello everyone, well today I wanted to show you my Oreck XL7. Now this is one of two models of the XL7, this is the titanium colour. It was also available in black with sort of a brown bag. As you can see, this has got sort of a traditional Oreck grey bag. But the XL7 was probably the best Oreck upright that Oreck introduced, and I'll show you why in just a moment. But I just thought I'd give you a tour around this machine and I'll put some dirt down and we can see how well it performs. So let's take a look. Okay, so here we are in front of the Oreck. As you can see, it's got a nice grey panel on the front that says Oreck on there in big bold letters. We've got a headlight there. It's got twin incandescent bulbs. I believe you could also get LED lights to fit this, but the later version to this, which was the XL10, that actually had LED lights as standard, but this one just has traditional light bulbs. The XL7 had a side light on the right hand side, which is kind of a nice feature. Got a bump around the front and it carries on around the back as well. And what's interesting about this Oreck, which I've never seen on any other Oreck upright before, is that it actually has a little post motor filter. See if I can get this out here with one hand. They are quite stiff. Is it going to... there we go. It's a little cartridge, you see. And it's got a little scent tab on the back, so I thought that's kind of cool. It's a bit different. It's supposed to, you know, prevent excess carbon dust from escaping from the machine. But that's a little sponge filter, and I've also got an Oreck Spring Mulberries scent tablet on there. So that just clicks back on. Now what makes this different to a traditional Oreck was that they redesigned this model. Oreck really listened to consumer feedback, and they made the ducting a lot wider. We've got a carrying handle on the back as well, and we've got a stiffer bristle brush roll, so these particular models perform so much better than the traditional Oreck uprights. Now this machine was called the XL21 in the US, but it was renamed XL7 for the UK market because Oreck didn't offer a 21-year warranty in the UK, they only offered 7 years, so that's the only difference, is just the name. So anyway, coming back round to the front here, I've got a little plastic clip on the bottom of the bag there that says Extended Life. That's what XL stands for, if nobody knew that. So we've got the bag here which says HEPA Sealock Hypoallergenic. Got some Oreck lettering on there. And I actually have a CC HEPA bag in here with the charcoal layer. And they're quite a nice design, these. You pull them out and they seal. Well, it's hard to do with one hand. 1 second. There we go. You see how it seals as you pull it out? And if you pull it a bit harder, that plug's getting on my nerves. I'll keep that out of the way, maybe. I don't know, it might stay. Right. So if you pulled it a bit harder, oops. There you go. It releases from the cassette there, and the entire bag will pull out, and the bags on these are huge. They're absolutely massive. But it does have a nice self-seal, as I mentioned. Got a little rubber membrane there. But these bags are really thick. I imagine these are quite expensive. This is one of the bags that came with this when I bought it. I haven't had this from new, I got it second hand, but I haven't had to buy any bags for it yet, so this is a new bag, as you can see. And I do like the docking system here, I think that's quite cool. So you do have a little pocket in the side there to put one of those scent tablets if you wish, so you can put one in there, and on this particular model you have the option to put it on the little exhaust filter at the back as well. So that's cool. Just pop the bag back in here. And of course Orecks are well known to be lightweight, that's their main selling point, and they're usually marketed at older people or people who are not able-bodied. See if I can do this with one hand. There we go. and the bag just clicks in there. Oops, pushing it over now. There we go. I'll just zip the bag back round. Interesting, on the titanium XL7 in the UK, it didn't say XL7 on the titanium model. On the black version with the brown bag, it said XL7 on there, so I'm not sure why they did that, but that's just the way it is. So if we move up to the top here, we have a nice handle. It's got a rubber grip. It's also got one of those, you can see that, a little metal piece in there. There we are. And that's supposed to prevent, any static shocks. It's a single speed, this particular model. We've got a quick release hook at the back, so you can release all the cord at once. It's quite a long cord on this. I'd say it was about 10 metres, 9 metres maybe. And of course, as I mentioned, the carrying handle there. And what's nice about Orecks is, most of them anyway, is they all come apart with these twist fittings. So you just unscrew them and the handle sections come out. I'll screw that back in there quickly. There we go. So I'll just show you the base. Also, there's a pocket on the back of the bag there to store spare bags or belts, air fresheners, that kind of thing. So, speaking of spare belts, we have one stored on board. A very typical Oreck thing there. Got rubber coated wheels, and we have the Brushroll, which, as I said, on the XL7 they redesigned it, and it's got much stiffer, shorter bristles, and it really does perform a lot better than the traditional Oreck. Also have the side whiskers there, I think Oreck call those. They are actually quite handy, believe it or not. And there's a little squeegee along the back there, which Oreck have that fancy name, which I believe it's, what do they call it now? Oh yes, micro sweep technology or something. It's just a bloody squeegee, and that stops scattering on hard floors. So yes, it's not much to see, just a basic upright really. There's the rating sticker if you want to have a read at that. So it's made in 2008, the second day I believe, is that? 400 watts. So there we are. So I'll give this a quick push around and then I'll put some dirt down and we'll see how well it picks up. Okay then, well she's plugged in and ready to go, so I'll just give you a quick power run of this so you can see what it sounds like. And then, as I said, we'll put some dirt down and we'll see how well it picks up. So here goes. So it runs very smoothly, and as you can hear, it's not as shrill. Well, hopefully you can tell on camera, but it's not as shrill as a traditional Oreck. This was much quieter, and as I said, it's a much better design from Oreck than anything else they've introduced upright wise. I really like these models with this style of cleaner head and the wider ducting. Anyway, that's the XL7, so as I said, I'll put some dirt down and we'll see how it does. Okay, so I've put some dirt down on the carpet here. This is the contents of a Hoover Junior Deluxe bag. Now, it's mainly rice. I think that rice has been in that bag since I did that agitation demo with that Junior Deluxe quite a while ago. But anyway, it's mainly rice, but there's dog hairs, dust, grit, little bits of paper, and just general dust, what you would regularly pick up with your vacuum. So what I'm going to do is pass the Oreck through the middle of this once, well forward and back, and then we'll see how well it does. And then I'll give you a few close-ups just to see if we can see any agitation. So, without further ado, here we go. So, there we go. As you can see on camera, that's picking up as a very clean line. So, where it's actually swept is it's very clean actually. I don't think it's left anything behind. There's a few bits near the edges, but nothing drastic. You would be happy with that if you were just vacuuming normally. And of course, you can see where the edge of the cleaner head was here. This strip here is where the belt is, and this little strip here, this faint strip, is a bit that's unswept on this side. But yes, the main area that it's actually brushed is very good. That's a very good result for one pass. So let's change the camera angle and we'll have a few fun agitation shots. Alright, so next I wanted to show you the performance on hard floors with this Oreck XL7. Now as you can see, this is a real extreme example. I shouldn't imagine anyone's kitchen floor looks like this unless you've been having some sort of a food fight. So we've got all sorts down here. It's probably more extreme than the carpet demo I did. So we've got here flour, there's sugar, lentils, there's rice, and we've got some oats there as well. So it's a real, big test for this machine. And remember, this has a revolving brush, so you would think it would scatter it behind, but of course, because it has a squeegee, as I mentioned before, if you can see that, just there, that in theory should prevent the scatter backwards when the brush is rotating. And with the sort of castellated type of edge on the front of the base plate there, in theory these larger particles should pass under that no problem. But we'll see anyway. Just like the carpet test I did, I'll go one forward, one backward pass, and then we'll see how well it did. So this might be a bit noisy in the kitchen here because it's only a small space, but here we go. Wow, well, the area it has cleaned, it's got everything. It's not actually left anything behind apart from the bits at the edge that are unswept. But if I move the Oreck out the way, you can see all the scattering it's done behind the machine, so that's a bit disappointing. Maybe the squeegee needs replacing, I don't know, but that could be just how how this machine does. It might just scatter. But the area it's cleaned is very good. So anyway, I'm going to clean the rest of this up off camera, and I think that will conclude this video. Okay then, so I guess that's just it for the £8–10 Oreck. Now, that was my little finger I was holding that up in the air with, and that's my left hand as well. I'm not the strongest in my left hand, so as you can see it's very, very lightweight. Now, I was quite disappointed actually with the performance on hard floors. I thought it would have done better. Like I said, maybe the squeegee needs replacing, but it didn't look like it did. But anyway, I'm very pleased with it. The performance is very good. As I said, this is probably my favourite Oreck design that they came out with. This was the redesigned classic Oreck. So, I think this was the last design that Oreck made before they got bought out by TTI. So this is an actual Oreck machine, not a TTI machine. Now, one thing I thought might be interesting is let's take a look at the fill tube, see if any of the dust has leaked out around the bag, because we did suck up quite a lot of fine particles. Okay, so it's not too bad, as you can see. A few very, very tiny particles around the outside, but everything has stayed sealed in there, so that's good. So there we are, and these bags do filter very well. Anyway, there you have it. Not really much else I can show you on this machine. It's just an upright, really. There's no tools. So there we go, Oreck XL7. Hope you enjoyed and found the demos interesting. Thank you very much for watching as always. If you like, please give me a thumbs up. Comment below if you wish, and please subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. So from now, until next time, thanks for watching, take care.